Hey guys, we're going to learn the running stitch right now, and you're going to practice when the video is over. So you want to just get a scrap piece of paper, scrap piece of fabric. I'm using a piece I had from felt. If you don't have any scrap felt or fabric, then you can just use a strip of paper. It's totally fine to do it that way. The point is that you learn the stitch and that you're able to practice a nice even running stitch. So I'm going to start by taking my ruler, and I have a Sharpie, and I'm going to draw two straight lines on my scrap. Those lines will act as a guide for me. So I've already put the thread on my needle and tied my knot. So now I'm going to start the running stitch. So this will be how the stitch that you use to create your little stuffy. So you're going to start going under. So you're going to take the needle and you're going to kind of hold it underneath, and when you poke it through you can kind of see where the needle is. So I'm going to start on the first black line that I drew, and I'm going to go under the fabric. I'm going to pull up, and then my knot is going to stop me from pulling any further. And now I'm going to go over. So I would like to stay on the black line. So I'm going to put the needle in, and now I'm going over. And I'm going to pull it through. Okay, and there's my first stitch. So I would like to try to keep my stitches the same size as this, and it might take you a little bit of practice, so don't stress out if they're not the same exact size. You'll just keep practicing. So now I'm going to go back under on the line, and I want just a teeny tiny space in between stitches, and I'm going to pull up until I feel it stop, and then I'm going to go over, and I'm going to try to stay in the black line, and I'm going to try to keep these stitches the same size, nice and even. So there's my first two stitches, and that's it. You just keep going. So I go under, over, under, over, under, over. And you just keep going. So you can see that my stitches aren't perfect, but they're pretty good. They're about the same size, and they're staying on the line, so they're nice and even, and they're not too big. Okay, so you're gonna keep going. I'm just gonna do one more, and then I'm gonna show you how to tie it off. Okay, so I'm gonna do one more. Now you're gonna go all the way to the end because you need the practice. So when you get to the very end, you'll flip your fabric over, and now you're gonna tie it off. So I'm going to take my needle, and I'm going to pick up just a tiny bit of the fabric here. You're just going to kind of put your needle through it, and you're going to start pulling, and as you pull you kind of are creating this loop, and when you get close to the end you put your needle back through that loop and you pull it, and you've created a little knot, and that's how you end the thread. So you can just trim it here, and then I still have quite a bit of thread left, so I would be able to tie a knot again, and then I could keep sewing. Okay, so when you're done with your first running stitch, if you're at home on Connect, I know it will probably be a little difficult for me to see on the camera screen, but you can turn your camera on and show me, just to make sure that your stitches are a good size, and then you can practice one more time. And then when we come back to school, we will be drawing our patterns next and cutting our patterns out of our felt.